everyone, to another exciting episode of We Empower. I'm thrilled to have you all with us today. So sit back and relax and get ready to be inspired. Let's make today count. In today's episode, we will have a great guest here to introduce. I'm very happy to have her here already. It's Tessy Antony de Nassau. From Kosovo to culture, from society to NGO. She is a fearless change maker, shaping global impact with heart and vision. I'm very happy to welcome her here. And afterwards, we will review also and see that we welcome another person. It's Helen Taylor. She is a global health maker and supporter of people and well-being around the world. Today on the show, we welcome an extraordinary woman whose journey defies convention. From serving in the army at 18 to becoming a global voice for education, women's empowerment, and sustainable leadership, Dame Tessy Antony de Nassau is not just a change maker, she's a bridge builder between worlds. Formerly a member of a Luxembourg royal family, today she's an award-winning entrepreneur, UNAIDS ambassador, and co-founder of a fashion line that fuses elegance with purpose. Get ready to be inspired by a story of courage, reinvention, and unstoppable impact. So welcome, Tessy, here in the show.
Thank you, Annabelle. It's such a delight to be with you here today. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, for me, it's always every week, Happy Friday, to having these great people like you here in the show. And you sorted out a very nice song which touches me always when I listen to it. I mean, it's not just the voice, it's the words which I often think we need more fire in the hearts of the people. Um, Looking at the song, for me, it was this line, Fire in the Fire, where two stars shining in a boundless universe. Um, and I think it's sometimes that we have to widen our perspective. This is something which I'm reminded by the song. What is the reason why you sorted out the song?
Well, first and foremost, my father is Italian. So I'm half Italian when it comes to my bloodline, second generation Luxembourgish. And as such, the Italian music, I think it's a beautiful music. It's a music that invites, grand emotions. And this song specifically, the title, if you translate it, it says a flame of fire burning passionately with another flame of fire. And I think it's that, it's like what Carl Jung says, when two people meet, a chemical reaction happens and both are transformed forever. And I think
Mm.
music has this power too. And I thought we start our Friday off with a bit of fire.
That's great. I like that. And I think, I mean, you have also a lot of that inside you because living special, or living several careers and putting it under one hat, this, I think this means that you need to have a lot of them in different roles. And if we start with the questions, I mean, I think you are a twin, I know, no? Um, and I think being a twin must be very special. When I was a young girl, I often dreamt about having a twin, which could be my next one, whispering all the secrets just to my twin and having this just among others. Do you remember a moment in your childhood, which was one where you felt that you, yeah, will go a special way, and maybe also a different way than your twin?
Yeah, so my twin brother, he's a man, he's a boy, so we are not identical twins. Amazing man. He is in the police force. We did the military together, so we
Wow,
had a
great.
lot of beautiful memories. So yes, I guess we, like with everything else, people are
Mm,
different to each other. We
yeah.
complement each other.
Mm,
Um, but with him, after the military, we were just, yeah, we are definitely different. I've always been the advocate in the family. I've always been the one that is protecting him when I was young.
mm,
Now it's the other way around. He's taller than me and bigger than me, so it's different. But I always felt very protective over him. And
mm,
yeah, we always had this special connection.
Mm-hmm.
I have a beautiful story when I realized about purpose, right? We're going out of the military and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and my twin brother, where is he? Where I am going? And I look back, there was a story which I would like to share if I may.
Yeah, please.
I was very young. I was like 8 years old or something like that. I watched my grandmother take care of my great grandmother, which wasn't always the easiest person, but
Mm-hmm.
with such great grace and determination, right? And I realized she just didn't bring like food and whatever she was doing. I realized she brought dignity,
Mm-hmm.
conversation, and hope. And that moment really, for me, crystallized something so profound that true power isn't about what you can take, but it's what you can give. And
Mm-hmm.
thus, after the military, it really planted this continuous fuel in me to kind of like lead a certain life of service. And I guess, yeah, my twin brother does the same in a different way. So we complement each other very well, with good and bad times, as every other sibling has.
That sounds great. And is this something you said you were 8, which made you also feeling that there will be something, or you have the goal to go towards something which will be greater than yourself?
Yeah, I guess we all have this feeling in some way or another because we all
Mm-hmm.
want to contribute as good as we can, right? We're inherently people inside us and we want other people to like us and we want to be useful. And as such, of course, I always felt that I could do more and I
Mm-hmm.
could be more if I put in the work and the determination and and the heart as well. And as such, I was always a very driven child. That's true. If you ask my
Um,
parents, they will definitely relate to that. There's also a story my mom always tells that to strangers, which is so
mhm,
funny. I'm not embarrassed about it, but it really kind of shows a bit my character.
mhm.
I always saved dying birds and mice and rats and had snakes and hamsters and cows and chickens. I had all kinds of animals. I even had these little cockroaches that I would give them a bath in the evening. So I was always like kind of, yeah, I was always different. My mom always
Mhm.
knew that I wasn't a normal child in that way.
But I like what you said. I like that you said that we have that you think that we all, as a kid, have this power inside us, and also this great gift that we have this great vision what we could do in the world. And I mean, you have also you have a small, very small kid now. You have two a bit older kids. I have also a kid where we discussed a few days ago. He's 7 now, and he said, "Mommy, I will build a big ship and then we can put all people in and we can save them against all." And I said, "Ooh, how big should the ship be?" And he said, "Oh, I think millions of houses must go in it." And where I
Oh,
said, "Yes,
that's beautiful.
it's a great vision." And I mean, we as adults, we often tell the kids, this is insane, that's childish. Go for the truth, concentrate on the small things. But to have this great vision, this is sometimes it's a gift if you have this staying with you as an adult and you take care of this. Don't let anybody take your vision down.
Exactly. Yeah, my son as well, well, my 19-year-old son, Gabriel,
Wow.
and he was very small. He's always said, Mama, I will become a doctor. That way, when you
Mm.
grow older, I can take care of you.
Oh, this is sweet.
Always said that. So yeah, it is so precious when you really, because you really get to know life through the eyes of a child. It's so
Yeah.
important because they have such a raw vision of what is around them, and it's yeah, it needs to be protected. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
Absolutely. And therefore, I mean, you are also busy in this field. We will touch this later. First of all, would like to go one step back. You said that together with your brother, you did military. And for some countries, this is, of course, women going to military. This is not something which is a normal thing you do in a special age.
Mhm.
You've decided to go there, and you've decided also to go in special military areas. So you were deployed to Kosovo at 18, the only woman in your draft. Do you want to share there something? Because I think it is a lot about courage, but also much more. sensitivity, respect, what I think is embedded in that.
Yes, no, for sure. I think talking then about the military that you mentioned, Kosovo,
Mm,
Kosovo taught me that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's a strategic management of it.
mm,
Being the only woman, as you mentioned, meant every action was scrutinized, often, every decision amplified. I learned that silence can be powerful,
mm,
more powerful than speech, when you're observing, analyzing, preparing your next strategic move. That
mm,
deployment didn't just build my resilience, it forged my understanding that true leadership often happens in the spaces between words. And
mm.
actually, it's so funny that you talk about courage because I have next to me a calendar, yeah, that I have. It's a yearly calendar that a friend gave me. And June 27, and I'm not kidding you, talking about courage, it says, so here you see it, it says, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is
Mm.
also what it takes to sit down and listen, from Winston Churchill. How
Wow.
fitting, isn't it?
This is very wise because I think in this world we often think that words are the one which have to fill gaps, that we always need to communicate, listen to music. Gaps or this pauses are very hard for a lot of people. And I think that brings them back to themselves. That brings them sometimes also back to the gaps they feel then sudden in themselves. And my son sometimes say, "Mommy, it's boring." I said, "Oh, it's good to feel bored
Yeah.
sometimes."
I tell them too when they say, we're so bored. I'm like, that's great. Enjoy it. I said, because when you grow up, there's not so many moments anymore of being
Yeah,
so precious.
exactly. And exactly, it's exactly what you say. This pause, this breaks, the silence, which gives us some possibility to think about. I mean, you said also when you were at military, I mean, there were, I guess, rare moments of silence, right? Because you had to act. You, it's not a long time to think about things when you when you're on a special operation. But what did leadership look like to you then, standing in uniform, but also later on afterwards? What have you learned from that, besides this very wise what you shared with us?
I guess, in uniform, leadership meant clear hierarchies, defined
Mm,
missions, and measurable outcomes. Well, as good as it's possible, right? Because it's such a volatile environment as well.
yeah.
Today, I guess for me, leadership is maintaining that military precision while
Mm,
fostering collaborative innovation. Like I like to work with people. There's a book that I always like to tell people to read. It's called The Medici Effect. What does an elephant
mm,
and a mosquito have in common? And it's about the cross-fertilization of sectors.
mm,
So the uniform taught me responsibility, of course, and strategic thinking, while entrepreneurship that you mentioned in my bio taught me that the most powerful leaders create environments where others can exceed their own expectations. So
mm.
just, make other people thrive. My husband, he is an incredible leader himself, and I learn a lot from him. He always says a true leader looks in the mirror when something goes wrong and looks in front of him towards people when everything goes right.
Wow,
Because
that's very wise.
yes, and it's so true, right? And
Mm,
so I try to live by that. That
mm,
that I look towards how can I make things better so other people feel safe, heard,
mm.
and included as well, so that we can create an environment, foster an environment that is inclusive and innovative, rather than create miscommunication and all of these other things we do not want as a leader.
Would you say, and we have just 1 minute left before our small first break, would you say that there's a difference between female leadership and male leadership?
That's a big debate, right? There's a lot of people
Yes.
debating about it. I think in a minute I can't answer this, but I think we're just different. We have different ways of looking at things. And I think that is
Mm,
also the beauty about being different because we can
yeah.
complement each other.
Thank you. This is a very short, good answer.
Yes.
Before So I'm very happy to continue with talking to Tessie, and we had a great start talking about what drives you? What does leadership mean? And where do you get also your ideas about leadership, or what could leadership mean? And how can this transform also? Um, Tessie, I think that a lot of people who get in first contact with you are still wondering about your time with the Luxembourg royal family. And I think it's a part of your life. Um, I just wanted to ask one question about, especially this, what shifted in you during your time when you stayed in the Luxembourg royal family, and what stayed deeply the same afterwards?
Yeah, I guess it's the elephant in the room, isn't it, Annabelle? So,
Yes.
I guess, the core mission for me never wavered. Serving with purpose, right? And
Mm-hmm.
creating meaningful impact. But what shifted was the scale and sophistication of that service. Royal life taught me that true influence operates through networks, relationships, and strategic positioning. The protocols changed, but for me, the commitment to excellence and service, which I have
Mm-hmm.
now with my companies and also towards my family, all of these things remained kind of like my North Star. So I have
Mm-hmm.
always been who I am now and who I was before. But yeah, it's just really about, knowing yourself well and then
Mm-hmm.
uh, making the best out of it. And, for me, I was the only and ever, the only Luxembourgish person to marry into the royal family. So it was a great honor and it was a big responsibility. And I wanted to really give it my best and, while staying true to myself and my values. And my ex-husband and his family, they always valued that. And as such, there was never a great debate because, I'm very well educated. My parents are fantastic people. And as such,
Mm-hmm.
I had the freedom to be who I am then and to remain who I am now.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like this, and I think everything of us is a part of us. But in the end, as you were saying, you are yourself, and it's good to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And you stand with two feet on the ground, with the hands in the ceiling, and know that the big vision you have, you can fulfill, and um, and 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 I know this, or maybe we have some similarities, as we both have special careers, special, let's say, um, lives in our life until now. When you step around or you turn around and some factors change, were there moments in your journey where you felt you had to, yeah, let's say, reintroduce yourself, um, not just to others, but to yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, the moment we stop reintroducing ourselves or we stop evolving in our journey is the day we sadly would leave this world, right?
Yeah.
So absolutely. I think transitioning from, as you said, from military, then royal to entrepreneur meant really constantly evolving my narrative while, as I said
Mhm.
before, staying true to my core values. Each reinvention required me to articulate not just what I was becoming, but why that evolution served a greater purpose. The most challenging reintroduction was to myself, of course, because learning to
Mhm.
see my diverse experiences as strategic advantages rather than scattered chapters. Because, like you have also an incredible career, but maybe not everyone will understand your path and how you put things together. And I hear
Exactly.
that all the time when people say you do so much. Well, for me, it
Mhm.
makes sense. It's not scattered chapters.
Mhm.
It's a line that makes sense for me. And
Mhm.
so yeah, to just, keep feeling comfortable with who I am is
Mhm.
really important.
If we look into lives of others, and I mean, we have more and more the situation that we don't have this person stepping into a job with 16 and then getting the retirement certificate with
Mhm,
65,
mhm.
and then just focusing on grandchildren in the own house, a small garden, and that's it. We we have so many differences now. It is a kind of multi. Multi-living we are living. And a lot of people say that they face with struggles looking at what they do on their own, getting it not together. You talked about this line, and I think this line and having this for yourself is very important because it is not a puzzle. I think is the wrong allegory for that and the wrong symbol for this. It is more, I think, a kind of weaving. No, so there's a ribbon and you're weaving on it, and
Yeah.
there come different colors in it, and in the end, it is a great, it's a great carpet maybe which shows how it belonged together in a kind of sometimes a secret or for others, but in a way that it is a harmony which is built out of this. Do you think, or do you have an idea for other people to help them on how to understand themselves better by doing this weaving in a better way?
I think finding your path is a bit like an earlobe or a fingerprint. It's so unique to
Yes.
you, right? And your emotions and how you feel and how big your emotions are so truly unique to each and every one of us. As such, I wouldn't comment on that for individuals. But what I do say to people is that, life is not always easy, and
Mm,
it takes courage to ask for help. And
mm,
help can be seen in many forms, in many ways, in many domains. That could be professional or in private life. And I
mm,
think, that is number one. Ask just for help. What is the
mm,
worst people can say is no. Well, I can live
mm.
with that. I have no problem with that. Just to take that courage of
Yeah.
knowing your limits. And in order to cross these and grow more, sometimes you do need a helping hand in some way or another. That might be a phone call, that might be an advice, that might be some financials, whatever it might be. But it feels good not to be alone. Rome wasn't built in one day, and it was certainly not built by one person. And as such, that to ask for help. And then,
Mm.
secondly, also to celebrate the small wins. And I need to tell my husband that all the time because, he's an entrepreneur. He's back at the ETH now as head of entrepreneurship there. And
Mm,
he lives a very fast and strong life. He's very strict on himself, but
mm,
he's incredible. He's very successful. And sometimes I see him being so overstressed, and I tell him,
mm.
look, you achieved this today. I saw you do this. You finally, this project came to be. How
Yeah.
about we take a moment to just enjoy this, that you finished this? Because remember, these months that you have been preparing to do this
Mm,
was painful in a lot of ways. And now it's
mm,
done, and you move on to the next thing too fast. I said, you need to give your body as well that acknowledgement that you
mm,
did it, right?
mm,
And just take a moment for yourself, which
mm,
goes as well with the question from before, right? How to reintroduce yourself to yourself all the time. Like check in and say, wow, I did this. This is nuts. Another person, well, they could have maybe not done it like that, right? And so we need to just start celebrating ourselves a bit more instead of
mm.
just like live in this hamster wheel society
Yeah.
where, you sit in an office and we're all looking at each other. Who leaves the last is the best kind of thing. It's not sustainable, and it's also not productive. So
Mm,
these two things, I think there's so many, right? But these two things I would encourage people to foster more uh,
mm.
because it really makes a difference.
I like that what you're saying because sometimes you feel in this world that much connected, but in real you aren't. You have the feeling that you have so and so many social media follower or contacts or friends, but in the end, sometimes the people look at these first contacts and say, "Oh, I don't remember when I've met this guy or girl, or if I even have met her or him." And the idea of being connected is so different from that what real connection means. And the much you can't connect with yourself, you can't connect with others in a real way. And I want to share a small story which made me feeling a bit sad. I talked to a police president a few days ago, and he told me that he's a bit shocked because he's often on schools and see school students which did some criminal things, drug dealing, pushing another person, just stealing some luxury items. And he said it is not that what shocks him that there's an increase in that. What shocks him is that there's increase in the idea of why I have done this and how I feel about this. Because he sees that a lot of young people have no idea about feeling bad about that, or feeling that this is not right, or just did this because they had a need to eat, so they felt hungry and need to steal or steal something because they want to eat, buy something to eat. They just said, "Oh, I was bored," or "I just thought, yeah, that is a good idea to do so." And he said, if if this is a sign for a development from us, stepping away from us, and if this is a part of the digitization and this new era of life on Earth, then this makes me feeling frightened and good that I'm already an old man with 60 something. And I thought about this, and where we talked about feeling yourself, ask for somebody for help. Um, do you think this is a tendency at the young people? Do you think there would help that people get more a kind of frame, just as military or regulations, rules, in a way? Is and is this getting the contact to other people something which we can learn again? Can these young people also learn again?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, mm, there's so much in your questions. So
Yes,
let me
we
go
can
one.
build an own talk about that.
Yeah, no, but it's really, and it's a big topic, right? We talk about it a lot in at the WEF in
Yeah,
Davos. It was a big topic last year and even this year about AI and how it interferes with
hmm,
emotional growth for youngsters, right?
yeah,
There's white papers that are coming out where they say, the use of, for example, and the use of ChatGPT, for example, kind of like decreases cognitive functions in the way we think and analyze.
hmm,
So I think there's a lot to unpack here, but overall, I think it's also, like in Luxembourg, for example, now a lot of schools are restricting phone use. Some
hmm.
have no phone at all in schools, so they're not
Oh,
allowed anymore to bring the phones to schools. Others have certain phone areas, others need to give it at certain times. So the
hmm,
systems are very different because people don't know really. It's a very unregulated space. And
yeah,
also, you want to give your kids the freedom of kind of like expressing themselves and making their own goods and bads, yeah, in a safe way. I think, with my kids, what I do, it's hard because, of course, COVID was not helping. We all decided we will be less on phones
yeah,
and let's be more together. And then COVID hit, and they were forced to sit on computers, homeschooled with the school online for like 7 hours a day, which is definitely not sustainable. And it was really detrimental to the young people, I think, in the way they think. Then we have what is it called? My son has it there. These goggles, the VR goggles, right? They go
hmm,
to cinema on these VR goggles together. They play chess on these in these virtual worlds.
yeah,
That is how they connect. So I think young people still connect to each other.
hmm,
But, as parents, we just need to make sure we also show them how they can connect otherwise. So I think it's a
hmm,
constant learning also for us to firstly respect them, that this
hmm,
is their world now, and to understand it better and see
hmm,
what we can do to support them instead of just creating more problems by going against it, because I think we can't fight it too much, but we
hmm.
can be part of it if we're smart about it, right? So connect to them like this, but also help them connect to us like we connected before. I'm doing that with my kids, and that works well. Like when we do outings and when we do things, I say the
Mhm.
first day at home, or let's do this, or let's put our phones on the table, and whoever touches it first does the laundry or whatever it is. It's just, and it works. Then I bring out the games again. So it's really
Mhm.
about how you as a parent make it. Then, there's books out there, of course. There's a book I read. It has not really to do with the technology world we're living in, but it still could work as a framework. It's
Mhm.
called Hate Me Now, Love Me Later, which is about the boundaries you set for your child to
Mhm.
keep them safe. Because when a child feels safe, they are automatically more happier because they know that whatever they do, they are held
Yeah.
by their parent. And for me, that book really helped a lot to understand how can I be a better parent while also give them
Mhm.
enough freedom. So what do I need to do? Where's my role? And maybe
Mhm.
some of this can be translated into the modern technology world that I
Mhm.
certainly don't always understand.
Yeah.
Um, like my oldest son, he's studying esports management and at university. And at
Very
first I was
modern.
like, what is that? And now I'm just like, and he's doing well and he loves it and everything. But it's just, it's new things for us as well to not just,
Yeah.
see the bad, but also the good in it and then evolve together and make,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Tessie, I wished and I think we have to talk later for a second series, seriously. Um, but we have
There's so
two.
much to unpack, right? No time.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you about your baby bestseller books, about Professors Beyond Borders, about your fashion line. So we have just 2 minutes left, and
Oh
I
la
would
la.
like, yes, and I would like you to sort out if there is one of these things you would like to address now. Um, I mean, you have so much you can give to the board, and maybe there's one thing, maybe from your entrepreneurships, maybe from that what is currently ongoing, what you would like to share now.
Well, I think there's all my projects and people can look them up, my
Yeah.
Instagram, Tessy from Luxembourg, or my LinkedIn, and you can write me if you have more questions, no problem. I always answer myself or write me a letter. I get a lot of these.
Mhm.
But one thing I would like to say as well out there to the young boys and the young girls, right? And also to the teenagers, but also to the grown women and men, you know,
Mhm.
um, I think sometimes we feel tired of being told to lean in all the time
Mhm.
when the system is designed to push out, right?
Mhm.
So I think, let's foster more to have practical strategies, not just inspiration. Inspiration is great, and we need inspiration to start, and we need to see what we can be, right? But
Mhm.
let's share more real tools, build strategic alliances, get out there more, talk about how we turn setbacks to comebacks, right? And hold
Yeah.
space for people to be listened to, validated, and validate their experiences as well, not belittling them, and listen to listen and not to reply. I think this is really what I want to say here because the world there's a lot happening and it's scary. Certainly for me it is. And
Mhm.
as such, I think we need more of that to just, just be there more again for each other in whatever domain, in whatever way we can. But,
Mhm.
you know, go one day without saying anything negative, maybe to start with that. Or last thing, little
Yeah.
homework maybe, which I like to tell people, and I did it on my TEDx talk as well, if you want to listen. It's for 30 days, meet one new person a day. Ask that person the same 3 questions that you asked the other 30 people over the 30 days and take notes. After the 30
Mhm.
days, you will be a completely different person. Try
Mhm.
it. Ask them, what is your favorite podcast, your favorite book? What is your life lesson? Things like that. You will see after that, not only have you made new friends, but also have really grown in so many different ways. And it's just beautiful. So I hope people will be able to do that.
Thank you so much, Tessie. It was a great hack you shared with us at the end also, and thank you for the whole talk. Thank you for the engaging discussion and for the inspiring insights. I look forward to other ongoing exchange and the impact we will continue to make together the world a better place. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Annabelle.
much.
Bye, everyone.